Average people have no goals. Average people aim at nothing and they hit it every single time. Successful people, on the other hand, they have a clear target and that is what they are focused on. What is going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another NYAD podcast. I am your host, Bryce Dettorre, husband, father, special education teacher, and fitness enthusiast. And today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about the cost of being average. So let's jump straight into it. So let me just give it to you straight. There is a cost to being average, and most people never calculate it until it's unfortunately too late. Average costs you opportunities, average costs you influence, and average costs you respect from others, and most importantly, from yourself. So today I'm going to give you 3 strategies to help you to make sure that you don't look like, act like, and talk like the average person, and practical tips to grow in each one. Plus, unfortunately, the cost you'll pay if you choose to ignore them. So first, don't look like the average person. And this isn't about designer clothes, it's about discipline and intentionality. And what I'm about to say is probably going to make some people pretty pissed off. And if you get pissed off, the only reason you're getting pissed off is because you feel like I'm attacking you. But if you get really frustrated at what I'm about to say, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I upset because I am guilty of these things? And chances are the answer is going to be yes, unfortunately. So if I make you mad, I apologize. Your appearance, whether you like it or not, is communicating multiple things to everybody around you. It communicates your discipline. It communicates your self-respect. It communicates whether you like to take life seriously and whether people should trust your leadership. And I know you're probably thinking like, how is that all from my appearance? Let me explain why. When you look put together, meaning you take care of your appearance, whether that's your hair, whether that's your beard, whether that's your physique on your health, you are communicating a message before you even speak. Now, if you come in, your shirt's tucked in, your hair's nice and cut, your beard is shaved, you have a smile on your face, because all of that is a part of appearance, you are communicating that you respect yourself from the second someone sees you. So how do you improve in this area? Well, one, you got to pick one area that you want to improve in. So let's take grooming. If you don't have a haircut, get a haircut. If you shave once a month, shave once a week. If you got some BO, get some deodorant, get some cologne. If your pants are falling down, get a belt, get clothes that fit. That's probably the easiest way. When it comes to grooming, I like to use the example of act like you were going out on your first date with your spouse or your current girlfriend, whoever it is. That first date, you probably went out, you got a good haircut, you probably brushed your teeth, you took a shower, you got some nice cologne, you shaved. You should be doing all of those things every single day. Maybe not the shaving could be once a week, but you need to be well groomed. Second area, get yourself a clean outfit. Get clothes that fit. I probably see that is the most common thing. Either shirts are too big or in some cases shirts are too tight, pants are too big, where they're falling down, there's no belt. Get a clean outfit. Figure out what sizes you are. And if you're not happy with your current size, then that comes into your actual physical health of, I truly believe, and I will argue this until the day I die, everybody has time to work out every single week. Now, I'm not saying you have to do 5 or 6 days a week like me, and I'm not saying you have to do twice a day, and I'm not saying you have to train for something like a marathon or anything, but you do have enough time to do a 20-minute workout 3 times a week. I don't care how busy you are. If you look at the most successful people in life who own businesses, who have families, they make time for their health. And if you are overweight, it's your choice to be that way. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Again, like I said, I'm probably going to piss some people off in this episode. Next thing, make your bed. Take care of your house. Keep your house clean. I'm not saying it has to be deep cleaned every single day, but straighten up your house. Straighten up your work environment. If you're not only at your house, but also at your job. I'm a teacher, so I have a desk in my classroom. I make sure that my desk is taken care of and organized when I leave at the end of the day, so that when I come in, it is a clean, organized area for me to work. Keep your workplace clean. There is a lot of research that says if you have a clean desk is like a symbol of what's going on in someone's mind. If you look at someone's desk and it's a complete mess, chances are they're a complete mess up here. If you look at their house and it's a complete mess, they're a mess up here. If you walk into someone's house and it's like everything's organized, everything's clean, they don't have to focus on all of that, which means this is a lot more organized and they're able to focus this on things that matter as opposed to keeping up a clean house. So choose one thing One of those things that I said, and no matter what, do it every single day. Work on that area. And then once you get that done, that becomes the foundation of upgrading your appearance. Now here's the cost of if you ignore your appearance and you do what the average person does. People will take you less seriously, unfortunately. You'll have missed opportunities because I don't care what, and this again makes people upset, but it's human nature. You make a judgment on someone based on the first 30 seconds you meet them. So when you meet someone within the first 30 seconds, you will have already made an assumption about who they are. Now, I'm not saying it's right. It could be wrong once you actually get to talk to them. But their appearance, since you see them first, that is the first thing that you're going to make a judgment on. So your appearance should give off a very good first impression. And if you have a bad impression, I know that it could lead to missed opportunities. You also have lower confidence. It's like that saying that Deion Sanders says, you look good, you feel good, you play good. That is 100% true. If you do not like the way you look, you're not going to like the way you feel, or it's going to transfer over into now you don't feel good, and then now you don't, he would always say play because he was referring to sports, but it could be perform. If you go into work and you're not looking good, you're not feeling good, you're not going to work good. So you will have lower confidence, which will lead you to blend in because the average person has no confidence. And then at the end of the day, you're really limiting your own potential of what you're capable of. I mean, what would happen if you were to drop 20, 30 pounds, you were to start dressing in a professional manner? Again, I'm not saying it has to be designer clothes, but you dressed in a way that you felt professional, you felt confident, you felt secure. I mean, how could that impact your life in all the other areas just from how you look? Ask yourself that. Because at the end of the day, if you're like, well, you know, I might have more confidence, which may lead me to actually have that conversation with my boss about the promotion, that could change your whole life. And I know everybody's like, well, that's probably shallow because you're focusing on your appearance, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. Unfortunately, it is the truth. And if you avoid it, you will live an average life. Second thing, you got to stop reacting and start responding. This comes down to don't act like the average person. Average people live emotionally. They're all over the world. They're very emotional. They complain, they blame, they quit, and they drift. That's what the average person does. High level people, on the other hand, they respond with intention. They control their behavior even when the emotions are high. It's not like successful people don't have crazy stressful lives. No, they may look like they don't have crazy stressful lives because they know how to control their emotion. Average people, their emotions are crazy. They're all over the place. Successful people, they stay calm, they stay disciplined, they keep their word, they're promise keepers, they show up consistently, and they act from purpose, not impulse. They always know exactly what they're going to do. They are not impulse driven. They will only act in accordance to what gets them closer to their current goal. Average people have no goals. Average people aim at nothing and they hit it every single time. Successful people, on the other hand, they have a clear target and that is what they are focused on. They're not acting off their impulses because, again, if that doesn't align with their target, they disregard it. Average people, unfortunately, aim at nothing and they hit it every freaking time. So at the end of the day, your actions reveal who you actually are. So my tip on how to improve in this area, you gotta pause 3 seconds before responding to anything that happens in life, which is very hard for the average person. The reason you do this is it changes everything. It stops reactive decision making and shifts you into intentional behavior. So over time, those 3 seconds make you the calmest, most grounded leader in the room, which will separate you from the average person. Now here's the cost if you ignore this and you just act off of impulse, which is what the average person is doing. You're gonna damage your relationships, possibly with people who you truly care about. You're gonna lose trust from the people who you truly care about. You constantly have to start over because of what you went or what you said or what you did off of impulse. And chaos will replace consistency. And last but not least, you remain average emotionally and mentally. Respond with intention. It's a superpower. And last one, don't speak like the average person. Speak with purpose. Average people will talk first and think later. They gossip, they complain, they ramble, and just waste words at the end of the day. Exceptional people will speak with clarity. They listen twice as much as they talk, which I've had a whole Monday motivation video on that topic. They use their words to lead, build, and encourage other people. At the end of the day, your words will shape your environment, and that goes for your environment at your home, at work, and everywhere you are. So my tip on how to improve in this area, so now you got to practice the 3-second rule for speaking before you respond. Ask yourself, is this helpful? Is this necessary? And is this aligned with who I want to be? Take 3 seconds, ask yourself those questions, and take 3 seconds before you even speak. This alone, one tip will separate you from 99% of people, because the average person will not use their voice intentionally. They will just ramble. They will not think. They will just spit off whatever is in their mind. But successful people and leaders, your voice will become stronger because you use it intentionally. So here's the cost of if you ignore this. You lose credibility. You create unnecessary conflict. A lot of fights start because someone will respond impulsively and not think about what they were going to say. And then what ends up happening is later on in the conversation, they apologize for what they have to say. My advice, take the 3 seconds. You may not have to apologize later because you may never say it, because in that 3 seconds you realized, hey, I'm an idiot. I probably shouldn't say this. You talk yourself out of opportunities. You appear average and inconsistent to successful people and leaders of the world, and your leadership loses its impact. Average voices will blend in. Purpose-driven voices will stand out. So how you look, how you speak, and how you act are the 3 areas that will separate you from the average person. And you don't need perfection. At the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm perfect. These are things that I'm striving to do every single day. Do I hit them every single day? Absolutely not. But I'm at least aiming at them. Again, I have a target. The average person is not even aware of these, and they will never hit these because they're not aiming at them. But you do need intention, because if you don't elevate in these 3 areas, the cost is very simple. You live beneath your potential, you blend in with the crowd, and the worst of all, you never become the man that your family needs you to become. But if you do these 3 things and you work on these 3 areas, you become a leader, a protector, a man of standards, a man your kids look up to, a man your wife can rely on, and a man who just doesn't talk about excellence, he lives it. So this week, my challenge to you, upgrade how you show up, upgrade how you act, and most importantly, upgrade how you speak, especially to the people that you care about most. Average is crowded. Excellence has plenty of space. And you already know the motto. Stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll see you next Monday.